What's up everyone, I hope yous are good. Welcome back to the Higher Level Mindset channel. Has been a little while since I've posted on this, but I feel like this is a very important video to make, and I promise I will be more consistent with the videos. So as we're in the year 2025 and we're coming into the summer, you might notice that more people are actually being aware of the truth of what is going on in the world. Now, you still have your NPCs wandering around. We still have the people who their ideas basically come from the system. But a lot more people are noticing how the world works and how it's corrupt and how different things are going on. And a lot of people are being more in tune with their spiritual selves nowadays. I'm even hearing it. I'm watching video, like I was watching a video earlier on when I was eating dinner. I think his name is Tommy G. He goes around to different gangs in America, and he was talking to this one gang, and they're even speaking about how they don't eat meat, how they're vegan, how they're tapped in with spirituality, how they don't care about presidents, they just know who the world's controlled by. And I was just sitting there, I was like, this is a random Mexican gang in the middle of like nowhere, and they know about this stuff. And it kind of just made me realize that more and more people are knowing about this stuff. When I used to work my old job, I remember I used to be telling people different things about the truth, about what's going on in the world, and also spiritual beings. And you'd think they would laugh about that stuff, or they would be in instant denial against that stuff. And they weren't really. They were there listening to it, and they kind of understood it. And it's because when people are more in tune with themselves spiritually, you know from your soul what is right and what is the truth about this world. You have two different versions of truth. Now, when they get you living through the physical world or the physical reality, and you hear an idea being told to you over and over again, you just think that's the truth because it's been told to you and it's been embedded in your brain. You're not checking if that's the truth with your spiritual self because you're not tapped into your spiritual self. This is how the system works. The system doesn't want you tapping into your spiritual self because you can use that for your self-guidance in life. If you don't guide yourself, the system is going to guide you instead. And the system is there to put you in a low frequency and keep you as far away from your spiritual self as possible. But more and more people are being a bit more resistant against the system now. The only reason a lot of people, because you have a lot of people who are awake or who kind of know how the system works, are tapped in spiritually, and you have them in these normal jobs where they don't enjoy them. There's nothing wrong with having a normal job if you actually enjoy it and it's you on a high frequency every single day within that job. But you have a lot of people who are awake and tapped in spiritually in these normal jobs or in college and in school, and they simply don't really escape the system, actual physical system of it, because they're just undisciplined. Like, as much as it is to say to make your own money and do your own thing, it takes a lot of hard work. Like, I do trading, and trading takes a lot of hard work, a lot of emotional carnage, a lot of hard work. It's probably one of the hardest skills to learn in the world. But once you learn that skill outside your job, once you learn how to make your own money, you're chilling. You're genuinely chilling. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. You're your own boss. You have your own freedom. You decide to meditate when you want. You can go on walks to get your thoughts, regather your thoughts. You can buy your own food, eat healthy. You see, the thing is with the system that's set up, it messes up your routine. It doesn't really, you don't have a routine that's a high frequency routine. It's in control for you. So your diet might be off, your sleep schedule might be off. You may be hanging around people that you don't like to hang around, but because you're in that environment, whether that's school, college, or jobs, you're just surrounded by these low frequency individuals that you just don't want to be around. But then when it comes to you actually learning a skill outside of that thing or outside of the system, you don't have the willpower or discipline. So you need to do that, please. You should not be living your life on a low frequency every single day, especially if you're awake, or especially if you're tapped in spiritually. But anyways, I'm going to say this. Over the coming years, you're going to see more and more truth happen, and there's going to be a lot of weird things. And when I say weird things, as in not normal in the physical sense, more in the spiritual sense of things. You're going to see more things happening over these coming years. We've even seen it in the last couple of years. And whether that's what happened with the pandemic onwards, there's been some weird thing. You have to realize that time is a concept. So when I say years, I just mean day after day, because days aren't the thing. Like, we come up with the time. Do you get me? Like, we just have it a name. Everything's just night, daytime, then you have morning, of course, as well. Like, that's just how every day is. Like, time's a concept that humans come up with. And yeah, you're just basically going to see more and more people be aware of what's going on in the world spiritually and the likes of that stuff. And if you are one of these people and you're surrounded by people who are NPCs or low frequency individuals, don't go telling them about this stuff. First of all, you have to put on an act. This is the thing. When you, the annoying thing is being surrounded with NPCs is you do have to put on an act. You have to put on a certain type of act. You need to get down to their level. And you need to kind of be interested in what they're interested in. And that's why if you're a bit different to everyone else, people will have a negative reaction to you. If you're doing something different with your life, people aren't going to be able to relate with you. You have to realize when you have a group of sheep together and there's a black sheep, all the white sheep relate with each other. The black sheep's going to be the one who's targeted or stands out a little bit. And that may be you in your environment now at the moment. But thankfully, we are having more black sheep popping up. We are having more people who are awake popping up. There's a lot of people that I can relate with, even with my friends. When, like, my friends know I've been speaking about this spirituality and truth for a while. They're used to it, like even from school days. A couple of my mates in school in 4th and 5th year I'll speak about this stuff and they won't have like, oh bro, that's a conspiracy, oh bro, that's this. They won't have that reaction to it. They kind of know because your soul does kind of know. And you have to realize, but what's going on in the world now, karma is real. That's all I'm going to say. With how the system's going on in the world now, karmatic energy is real. And they have to tell you what they're doing. And that's the same with every religion or how bad anything is, whether it's even Satanism. Like, you have to tell someone what you're doing, or there's karmic retribution. It's how the universe works. Whatever you put your energy into, whatever energy you put out, you're going to get that energy back in some type of way. And we notice that energy is more so of a spiritual thing. But when you have people living through a physical reality so much, or to a sense, they're not going to realize what's going on in the world as much. That's why they keep you in your physical self. And they want you concentrating on everything's physical. Yeah, everything's physical. Even when it comes to religion, a lot of the time, 90% of people who are religious, they're not spiritual. They're religious. And religion can actually trap people into keeping them in the physical world. And having them think that God is something over here. That you're here and you worship something over here. That's not how it works whatsoever. God is within you. That's why before religion we had gods and goddesses. We are gods and goddesses. God is within us. That's exactly how it works. And that's literally what it explains to you as well in the Bible, even the likes of that stuff. It says King Dome, that's your dome. Side of your head there is called your temple, so the temple of God. The bottom of your foot is called your heel, so that's hell, low frequency. Bottom of your foot is called your soul. Like, there's loads, they tell you this stuff. They're basically telling you that you're a spiritual being in a physical body. That's literally what it is. If you ever meditate, if you tap into meditation, or when you have dreams and the likes of that stuff, what you're actually meant to do in your dreams is you're meant to tap into your dreams, gather that information, and bring it to your physical world. So it's your higher self, or you purposely going into opposite realities or opposite dimensions that your consciousness is operating in. You learn that information and bring it into your physical world. That's why dreams have meanings. But most people can't even have dreams. Then second of all, most people can't remember their dreams. Then third of all, most people can't control their dreams. So there's no advantage to that. Like, you have to realize that there's literally people they have hired to stop you astral projecting, to stop you going to certain areas that you're not meant to go to in a spiritual sense, not even a physical sense. So this stuff, people will think, oh yeah, it's a conspiracy or whatever that. If you're not concentrating on your physical and spiritual self, if you're not doing that, you're going to operate in a low frequency. And that's exactly what the system does. You're not going to be enjoying every single week you live. You're going to be waiting for the cheap dopamine to show up on the weekend. It's a habit of cheap dopamine. So that's why you wonder why these things are free, why scrolling TikTok is free, why the hub is free. Vapes, well, they're not free, but you get what I mean. Why all these little things are put in place is basically to keep you occupied so you're comfortable. If we were living in our natural sense, we'd be tapped in spiritually. There was a woman I was listening to and how she remote viewed. So remote viewing is basically going somewhere spiritually to gain information or go to that place in a spiritual sense. And she went to North Sentinel Island. Now, I don't know if this is completely true, of course, but she went to North Sentinel Island and she basically said how, from a certain perspective, we would think they're a really under-advanced tribe. Like, they're just a tribe. They don't even have technology on the island. She said that they had this whole spiritual barrier around the island. There was a big golden energy around the island, and they performed rituals to protect themselves and all the likes of that. And they spiritually knew what their mission was here on Earth. And that's a lot more advanced than any of us. As much as you can brag about technology and AI and all the likes of that stuff, the real advancement is you realizing why you're here on Earth and why we are here. and what our mission is. If we were living in a natural state, we'd have all natural spiritual roles of what we're meant to do. We're here to spiritually learn, and through that, spiritual lessons can come through the physical world as well. But again, you have to have a balance of both sides, the physical and spiritual world. When they have you only living in the physical world, you're going to be misguided. You're not going to be guided anywhere. You're just going to be living life miserably, and that's why we have all these mental health issues nowadays. People have no purpose. We don't know our purpose for ourselves, and that's not for no reason. That's not for no reason whatsoever. Anyways, that's going to sum up this video. If you're interested in joining my VIP community, which is people who are improving their lives, making money online, natural health, all the likes of that stuff, that's literally €20 a month. The link for that is in my YouTube bio. But I just wanted to highlight this, especially with what's been going on the last coming years, what's going on in even this year. I even made a TikTok about how it's going to get a lot warmer this summer, because when humans are naturally raising in frequency, we have to realize that if we're a form of God, we've created this reality for ourselves. Everything's perfectly made for ourselves. It's exactly how it works. So when we're naturally rising as souls, as spirits, the earth is going to get warmer as well. Sunlight is good for us. They try and make it seem like the sun is the enemy. It's not the sun that gives you cancer. It's all the sun creams and all the likes of that stuff that gives you cancer. Naturally, and then people are like, okay, well, why do I get sunburn and why do I start peeling so easily? Detox your body. Detox your body, get rid of the heavy metals in your body. You'll get sunburn. Maybe after a day or two, it'll turn to tan. I don't really get sunburn whatsoever. I was even in Dubai there in October, and 35 degrees every day. I got a bit burnt on my neck. Other than that, I got tanned. Like, I've already traveled to Romania and I've been to Croatia as well. Croatia was like over 20 degrees every day. We had 2 weeks of sun here in Ireland where it's over 20 degrees. I barely get sunburn anymore. And if I do, it turns to tan pretty quickly. So yeah. Anyways, that's just a little tip. I'm just going to throw that in there as well for you. But yeah, appreciate you all watching. And hope you are improving make sure you are improving your lives. Make sure you are getting your habits in check, like your physical and spiritual habits in check. Don't just be blindly walking through every single day, because again, you need to learn how to guide yourself as well.